Holy moly. Damn. Wow. I got some really hard, old wood. Good God. This old lumber, look at this. Wow. This is crazy. This is the flooring that they used as basically, this was the subflooring. This was like, the floor was like this thick. Look at this. This is about a 10-foot long piece. It's tongue and grooved right here. Antique hard pine. This thing is heavy and dense as can be. When you go to sand it, there's so much oil in the wood that it kind of gums up a bit. But we are definitely going to be repurposing a lot of this. I know I'm going to be doing some slat walls with some of this stuff, but this is some beautiful wood. Beautiful wood. Damn. And I got a lot of old wood. So, all right. Now we've gotten some of this floor out of the way, we can start seeing how this place was constructed. I have to cut one of these beams to see if it's white oak or not. I can't tell. I think it might be antique hard pine. But I'm looking across here how this was done. This reminds me of my parents' house, that some rooms of it were built in like 1870 during the Reconstruction. And what we have here, I'm thinking that we've got the red brick part of the house, which is built in 1820. Somewhere, I think around 1900, the addition over here was put on, and I'm thinking that this, where we're at now, was a porch, like a covered porch. And the reason I say that is because as we look through here and see the drop off over here, typically you would have wanted to have it dropping off so that way if it rained, it wouldn't run into the rest of the house. That's my thinking. I don't know for sure, and I don't have anybody who was back here 100 years ago when this is probably put on. So here's what we have. This is the main beam that they had put here in the house. And what they used to do back then, actually you should see where they actually had these notched out for the floor joists. They're actually corresponding. It's nice to be able to walk both ways. Corresponding over here. So they literally took a whole log and ended up notching it out for the lumber to go into it. Because these floor joists, they're just there. They're not nailed in, they're not fastened or anything like that. And the way they did the joists, the way they ended up doing the framing, it's called balloon framing. And what it is they just run the length of the house. You can see that this 2x4, well, actually it's a lot bigger than 2x4. It's about 2¼ inches wide by about really 4 inches. And it was in the rough. So today's 2x4s, they go through and of course they mill it down to 1/2 inch by 3½ inches. But what you'll see, and typically an old house like this, is they will run all the way up and then they'll just nail into the side of it for the next floor. The old cut nails and stuff that are in there, they don't go nowhere. One of the problems that you have is with this old wood, it gets hard. Old wood gets hard. Let me tell you something. Old wood gets hard to the point where sometimes you go to screw screws in for drywall, that the screws will break. Because the materials of today aren't necessarily made for the materials of back then. So, here's what we're looking at. These are kind of lath. That's just another thing that they used to do. What they used to do was they would put the wood lath up here, and then they would take hog's hair and mix it with the plaster to fill it in. So you're looking at the old hog's hair plaster on the back side of it. So this floor, here's the floor joists that are there sitting, what are they sitting on? Wow. Looks like, oh, okay, here's, okay, here we can actually show you. Check this out. So we're gonna need to definitely do some more underneath here to support this. So here's what they did. They took the balloon stud that's right here, okay, and they nailed another stud onto it, and then they rested the floor joist on top of it. Now, it's probably been here for over 120 years. Probably not going to go anywhere. But we're going to make sure, since we have this beam here, we can go ahead and bolt onto this and use this to help support it. I think what we're going to do is, we are exactly going to be doing that. We're going to be using LVLs. We're going to use LVLs to make a main beam on here. Then we'll be able to put our floor joists right on top of it, and we can sister actually back in here to make sure that way it's level, and also help to support those as well, and then bolt it together. That'll help to carry any load that's over there and help this hopefully last for another 100 years. And you can see the slope of the hill on the land here, where it's really close to the height of the house, where it's gently going down here. Here's the good thing for us. The good thing, because I don't want to mess up the house as far as the original look and everything else. When they built the red brick house, they didn't think about frost lines back there. They basically started laying brick. So there's not a real footing that's down there. You don't want to disturb that. It just is what it is. We are going to be using this beam over here, which you can see it's on a multitude of different rocks. But we're going to redo the brick over here. We're going to get our lime mortar and stuff. We've got some old bricks. We're going to fix that corner right there. But we are going to dig down and get our footer down in there and put a post up to carry that beam all the way, help carry that load on that beam over there. I don't know if this looks any different than what you saw. I know to a lot of you, you'll look at this and say, that place is a mess. But honestly, what we've accomplished, how many hours think we've been working? About 4 hours total on this trip? And we've worked about 4 hours.
2 o'clock.
Okay. So we worked about 4 hours. We got to make sure we're at the dump before 3:30. I'm going to take out some of these floor joists and see what kind of wood I have. But I don't think this is hardwood, but it's antique heart pine, but it's still kind of hard. But we're definitely going to be saving these. These are, again, something, if it's heart pine or white oak, either way, I think it's pine because I see it's got a little bit of a bounce to it. I think it's pine. Definitely are going to hold on to those. All of these are in pristine condition. It's only these 3 down here on the end that are a problem. But we can definitely marry some of the current technology with some of the old stuff to really make this good. And this feels like this is going to be a really good size kitchen. This is a good size kitchen here. Can you give me a tape measure so I can see what our distance is over here? What we're going to do is we've got our friend Jet is actually going to be living here, and we're basically going to make this is going to be a bedroom, and we're going to make that we're going to restore the bathtub that's in there. Thank God Jet can actually refinish those. But we're going to refinish the tub, and we'll put a shower in there as well. And this will be a doorway that'll go to the hallway, so you can go to the bathroom. We're going to repurpose the door right there because I love those old doors. There's actually a screened-in porch that's on the back, and this will be the entranceway to come into the house. So, and this one's really important. It's really important because the front door over there, just like this one, because they were smaller back in the day, they're only like 6'2" tall, and they're only like 28 inches wide. So anything big will need to come in through the side door. So refrigerators and things, they ain't coming through this front door. But I'm encouraged by what we've got here. Once I get all the floor joists out, the good thing is we've got that extension ladder, that A-frame. I think that's 12 foot, right? Or is that a 10 foot?
I think it's tall.
What we'll be able to do is when we're going to take the roof off, and I want to take the roof off the same way that I took the rest of this floor apart. I want to preserve all of those pieces of wood up there that are actually under the underlayment for the metal roof. We're going to put another metal roof on, but I want to save that wood. We're going to keep this wall because, again, that was one of the original walls. But we're going to take the roof off, and we're going to take this wall out, and then we're going to be able to reframe up the floor here with a new decking. And we're going to put pine flooring back down on here. Like I said, that'll become the door. That'll be a window where the sink will probably go. And this window may change some. It may be a smaller one. You can see they kind of boxed it up there because they had cabinets in front of it. But I want to make it so that way it's a kitchen that the refrigerator's here and the cabinets all wrap around and stop here. And then we put a nice island right here. And then you've got a nice table there. So we have a nice kitchen to be able to have people come over, and maybe we're cooking, and we have the island there where people can sit down, or maybe actually I do some cooking shows actually from the red brick house. And this will be kind of like my office living room and stuff. So when people come in, they'll be able to come in, you know, get a tour of the place. We'll show them. I'm going to try and figure out ways to show some of the construction of how it was built, have some maybe open walls and things. I think about, you remember at the Natural Portrait Gallery? At the National Portrait Gallery, if you ever go to in Washington, D.C., it was built in the 1800s.
This is
And
older than that.
yeah, literally, Lincoln actually had his inauguration there in that building. In there, you actually see the ceilings are these little cathedral bubbles. They have a section where they have it and they show that they actually, it's all brick laid 100, 200 years ago. Well, no, 130 years ago. And it's a cathedral of brick, and then they parged all on top of it. And it's really, really neat. So I want to be able to do some kind of elements like that in the house, so you can actually see some of the construction. That's why we're going to put beadboard above the rafters upstairs, so you can see all of these beautiful beams. And I'm kind of rambling on here, and I need to get ready to get to the dump and stuff, but this has been fun today. This doesn't even feel like work right now, what we've been doing. So I'm excited as can be. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to set up maybe a whole Instagram post for just the red brick house. We were looking and saying that what we may do is some of these beams that are, you know, we're doing something that we can do with it. We may make some special stuff out of it that will help to commemorate the house and use that to help raise funds for keeping the house alive and stuff. That way you can have a piece of the red brick house. So that's what I got. All right, I'll catch you later. Peace.